Welcome back down to the home of Graphtec GB, down at Nyquist House in Wrexham Technology Park. Welcome to the Cutting Matters podcast.
Yeah, where the sun is shining today as well.
It's a lovely warm day, isn't it?
Yeah, 1st of August. And it's a Monday as well. Nice clean slate.
I'll start with one thing.
What?
We have to say that Monday has taken the same way as Prince, whereas he's lost his name, and now it's officially podcast day.
Podcast day, yeah, it is podcast day.
We don't have Monday anymore, do we?
No. Yeah, to be honest, today I was really excited to come into work. Like more than usual.
More than usual.
Yeah.
Record the first proper podcast.
Yeah, first podcast. I think the reviews that we had last week from the first kind of snippet went down a treat. We had a lot of feedback that was quite good, and people are quite excited to hear about what we've got to say and quite excited to get involved with as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a cool project.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting stuck into it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is episode 1. Ignore the one we did like last week, because that was just our introduction
episode.
Little
tester.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is our first proper podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start off with a little bit of news that we've got going on. So last week, because of some of the feedback that we got, I thought, what else can we do to kind of hunker down on the feedback that we've got and get people involved properly?
Yeah.
So last week, I have created a proper The Cutting Matters Facebook group, so people can get involved that way, ask us questions.
Yeah.
Also for stuff outside of the group. So if you're listening and you own Graphtec or equipment that we've bought from ourselves and want to discuss it, settings, what you're doing with the machines, what you could potentially use the machines for, it's different to add another
That's a good idea.
For your business. Yeah. You can chat, and I've dedicated the Cutting Matters Facebook group now. Mm-hmm. You can find that, you can search for it just on general Facebook search, or if you go on to the Graphtec GB Facebook account and click on groups, you'll see it there. So add yourself to that. We also now have a dedicated Instagram account. So
for the podcast. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So again, search the Cutting Matters podcast and you'll find that on Instagram. That's for stuff that's just dedicated for the podcast.
Yeah, what we're talking about, little snippets,
exactly.
That sort of thing.
Snippets, behind the scene pictures, the set, which will hopefully develop over time. This is our starting set, but hopefully we're going to have a nice proper media suite at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're the two main things for the podcast, really. Obviously, you can listen if you're listening already. You've obviously chosen your podcast provider, but if you're watching on YouTube, because obviously these are all filmed, you
Great.
can. Yeah, great. I'm so enthused about that. I suppose it is Monday morning, just waking up after a long weekend of building wardrobes in my case. Oh. But you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. They're the 4 main podcast providers we've chosen to work with to start with. They may expand, they may contract if we only get much traffic off Apple and Spotify, which is quite possible.
Who knows?
Yeah. So that's the main kind of housekeeping for podcast related articles right now. We have something that will interest our resellers. We now have the Reseller Portal.
That's live.
It's live.
Yes, good. That's really exciting. So the portal, it's where all our resellers go, isn't it? It's like an account where our resellers can log into the website.
Yeah.
And then access all different information in terms of the Graphtec machines, brochures, pricing, pictures.
Well, you've got your price lists in there, yeah. your RRP price lists, all the pictures for your websites.
Yeah.
You've got user manuals, brochures.
Nice.
So everything that you'll need for your website, your customer support, everything will be in the portal. So basically, if you're a reseller, we want all of our resellers to have an account, but if we haven't already been in touch with you, get in touch with Ellen.
We can get that sorted out for you.
Certainly can.
But yeah, that's good. I'm really happy that's live now. That's good.
Yeah, that can be accessed via the graphtechgb.co.uk website. It does require us to set you up with an account though. So you can click on it, but unless we've set you up with your account, you can't sign in. So that's why it's important that if we haven't got in touch with you yet, you get in touch with us if you want to get into that quickly, and then we can set you up with an account.
Yeah.
And then the final bit of news, which is quite exciting. So today is Monday, but the podcast will be out officially on Tuesdays. So it's
Fingers crossed.
yeah, fingers crossed from every Tuesday. So
Yeah.
we have a new craft site going
Brilliant.
live. So it's either going live today, which is Monday the 1st of August, or latest via tomorrow.
Okay.
But
So what's new about this new website then?
complete new look.
Okay.
Lot it just looks more premium.
Mm-hmm.
Loads more information on there. The information's easy to get hold of. Just a nicer experience to view all of our craft products on, basically.
And is all the craft range on there? All the brands that we have?
Yep, all the
accessories, machines, everything on there.
everything from Silhouette, everything from Brother, Colour and Shape, and also the heat presses that we do from Happy Fabric as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. So that's today, is it? That's gone live today?
If it's not live right now, it'll be live by the time people are watching this
Tomorrow.
tomorrow, which is the Tuesday. So,
Yeah.
and that can be accessed via craftstoredirect.com.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So with the new change up with the website, has anything changed on the social platforms as well?
Yes. So you will see everything basically. With new logo, new color scheme, whereas the old color scheme from the old site was like a blue and yellow. We've now changed to a very funky purple.
Okay. How come we've gone
It's
for
like a
that colour?
lilac-y purple, actually.
Yeah.
Just like the color purple.
Yeah, just felt it at the time.
Yeah, just felt it. Just thought you don't see many websites that are purple,
Yeah.
so it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Oh, that's quite nice then. I'm excited to have a look at that myself, actually.
Yeah, have a good gander through it.
Yeah.
There's loads of information on there, but yeah, that should be live pretty much by the time people are tuned into this podcast, whether you're watching it or listening to it.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant.
So that leads us on really to today. We want to focus on our kind of products really that we do.
Yeah, machines. We kind of did an overview, didn't we, of what we do as
Yeah, and what the
Graphtec.
podcast was going to be about last week.
Yeah. But today, and kind of another kind of overview of the machines that we have and what they do. Potentially talk about the craft machines. Means there's a new craft website
Yeah.
revamp.
So if we start off with craft, which why do we have Silhouette and why do we have Brother?
They're two very different machines, two very different brands, and they offer, different things, a different audience, a different, finished result. So Silhouette we've done for years and years, and they do their own, small desktop machines.
Yeah.
So yes, Silhouette is well known in America. We've done, a lot with them in the last 3 years I've been here, especially. They do four machines that we supply now. So we've got the Cameo 4 range,
Which is three
three
versions
models.
of.
Yeah. So you've got a 12-inch, a 15, and a 24-inch.
Yeah.
And then there's also a portrait machine as well, which is an 8-inch.
Yeah. That's like your more desktop friendly, portable machine that you can, if you got a condensed workspace or if you want to take your crafting with you, it's ideal for that, isn't
Yeah.
it? So even if you've got a Cameo, but you don't really want to be lugging a Cameo on holiday,
No.
but you could easily pack up your portrait, couldn't you?
So, yeah, it's like with a hairdryer or some hair straighteners. You can literally put it in your bag luggage if you did want to take it away. So it is very, very, portable machine. So the Silhouette machines are digital cutting machines. They don't just cut, they can also put a pen in it and you can draw as well. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with a Silhouette. So you can cut out sticker paper, you can cut out cork, cardstock. There's loads of different projects that you can produce with a Silhouette machine.
Yeah, so the biggest difference between really the Silhouette range for us and the Brother range is the fact that you need a computer to use the Silhouette, don't you?
Yeah, the Silhouette does come with their own software as well.
Yeah.
And it is very easy to use. It's a user-friendly software. So you can create your own different projects on there, or you can import different files from the internet, or, if your friends have sent you files, or customers have sent you files, you can import them into the software and then send the file to the machine.
Or you can download off the Silhouette Studio. No,
Yeah.
sorry, Silhouette Design
Design
Store.
Studio. Yeah.
Pre-created designs. Obviously, there's different prices you can pay for your
Yeah.
packages there, because if you just want to use it, there's different licenses you can buy, isn't there? So if you just want to use it personally, then you just obviously pay for one price. You can also, if you want to download that design and use it commercially if it's, say, for instance, it's something that you're doing with HTV and you want to stick it on t-shirts, obviously you need to pay for the right licensing for that, don't you? So
Yeah.
you can pay different pricing from Silhouette Design Store to get the right file type that you need. Obviously cover all your bases.
Mm.
But yeah, so Silhouette is very computer, as in PC or laptop or Mac. You have to
Yeah.
have those, don't you, to be able
Yeah.
to use
So
the machine?
if you're a user of Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, CorelDRAW, that software is compatible with the Silhouette machines.
Yeah,
So it's more for like a designer user,
yeah,
really. Then moving on to the Brother machines. The Brother machines, we've only been doing them very recently. So this year
yeah,
we've started distributing them. They are for customers that, are not tech savvy as such. They've not got a laptop to download software onto, because the machine itself has a little control screen on there and you can create your own designs from the screen. So it's touchscreen.
yeah,
So you can add different text fonts in there, different shapes, designs, patterns. And then from the screen, you can then send go. And then again, you can load up some card, sticker paper, very similar materials into the machine, and it'll go and perform the cut from there. So it is a more simplistic machine. The Brother machine not just cuts and draws like a Silhouette machine,
yeah,
but it also scans material in as well. So the main feature of the Brother is the scan and cut. So it's got a scanner built into the machine.
yeah,
So if you were doing, a print and cut job, if you're doing, say, stickers, for instance, you'd print onto sticker paper, load it into the machine. It would then scan that design
yeah.
and then load it up onto the screen, and then it will vectorize. So it will already, know where it wants to cut those lines from. So it's got a very good scanning feature in
I'm
there.
nodding here. If you're not, I'm nodding along. If you're not watching the YouTube version, it looks. I'm not. Yeah, yeah. This is
Having
great.
a
Yeah,
really
I'm
good
just
time.
nodding along. But yeah, sorry. I am
Your
interacting. I'm just
mic is
kind of.
on mute then.
Yeah, I'm not on mute. I am here. I'm nodding along. But sorry.
Yeah, so the scanning element to the Brother machine is the best feature on there. It can go really intricate when it's doing the vectorize
Yeah.
cut, so it's just your contour cutting. So that is a very good feature. From the thinnest material that you can put in, like to the thick material as well, it will be able to cut.
So for people who are listening to this, who say from the craft community, who have always been kind of handcrafters using a manual die to
Yeah.
cut their designs. What's just in the simplest term? What's when you say vectorize? What does vectorize mean?
So it basically, when you've got your design, it just forms like an outline of that design, so
Yeah,
it'll know where to cut.
yeah,
So if you had 10, 20 different designs on a piece of paper, instead of going and creating different die for each little print design,
yeah.
it will just pick up straight away.
Okay.
So it will save you lots of time and energy as well. It does the machine just does it for you.
And with the Brother range, they use the Brother machines. So the scan and cut range from Brother and the Silhouette machines, they use the same what's called XY cutting technology. So
Yeah.
XY, left and right, forward and backwards. But the Brother not needing the computer aspect, you don't get me wrong, you can use a PC or a
Yeah.
laptop or something with the scan and cut range. There is a piece of software that you can get called Canvas Workspace, which allows you to do digital designs in it, a bit like what Silhouette Studio does. But whereas you need Silhouette Studio for the Silhouette machines to do everything, I mean, to even just send to go for the machine to cut, with the Brother machines, you can use the Canvas Workspace software to do designs, but then you need to either you have a printer cable so you can put it in, but you to actually send to cut and do your final cut settings, they're performed on the machine, aren't they?
Yeah.
So where the Brother machine it sits differently for us to the Silhouette machines is going back to people who want to take their crafting to the next level. If you've always done hand cut or hand dies, metal dies, roller dies, whatever. Um, the brother machines feed into like the next stage for your crafting journey, don't they?
Yeah, it
Because
definitely does.
you get to use a digital output device to cut, but you don't necessarily, if you're not happy to use computers or you just don't like using computers, you don't have to have a PC plugged into it to use it, do you?
No. There is the option to add your PC to the machine via a USB cable.
Yeah.
So there is online, there is, Brother have their own, like a software studio. It's called Canva Workspace. Is that right?
Canvas workspace.
Canvas
Yeah.
Workspace. So in there, you can create your different designs in there and then send it through. Or you can save it on a USB stick as well and put the USB stick into the machine.
Yeah.
So you're not just limited to the designs that the Brother machine has on its memory. You can also create your own and then import it that way.
Yeah.
So it is quite flexible as well.
There's also a plugin for Canvas Workspace to allow you to integrate it for people who are using the machines with computers. There is a plugin for it, so you can use it directly with Adobe Illustrator as well.
Okay.
Um, which also is something that Silhouette offer with a Silhouette Studio package. So with our conversation here about the machines that we do, it's also quite nice that we can build you really an easy to follow user strategy, really, in terms of going from handcraft to digital craft, moving through to full on digital design,
Yeah.
to a point where we offer all the products that would allow you to take pretty much your hobby through to being a career for yourself, really, couldn't you? If you
Yeah, we've seen
expanded
it
in the correct
happen.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've seen it
definitely.
happen. So definitely, and having, us sit here and talk through all the different machines is only a good thing, to help people decide what machine's best for them or, what software is best for them. So yeah, we have seen it happen before and it's exciting when it does as well.
Yeah. Like the you could go like a user journey, really, you could envision happening is somebody moving from handcraft, wanting to get into digital cutting. They go via the brother scan and cut route because that means they don't have to initially use a computer. They get more used to working on a digital landscape, really, with the brother. Then, for instance, you get to a point where you want to upscale, should I say? But then that would it maybe require going more down the route of being a bit more digital in terms of using your computer and digital design. So then you could potentially then move to over to Silhouette. Now, Silhouette, as I said, comes with Silhouette Studio software, which is free. There are upgrade packages available um, to open more features within Silhouette Studio to allow you to do more things. Now, what you could do if you are thinking long term, which is quite a nice stepping stone and an easy way to integrate things, is I was speaking to somebody on the phone a little while ago who was having this same conversation. They were looking at the Silhouette machines, but they were potentially buying a Silhouette now to then upgrade to a machine from Graphtec in the
Okay.
future.
Yeah.
So I said to them, "What are you currently using?" Now, this person, they had cut a little few of the stepping stones out because they were already fully happy with using design software packages. So they were set up with Illustrator.
Mhm.
So I said to them, "You're pretty much your best journey, I think, for future proofing and making your transition easy in the next 18 months to 2 years when you come to looking at buying a Graphtec machine would be don't use Silhouette Studio. Use the Silhouette Connect plugin, which allows you to drive your machine straight out of Illustrator, which means all your designs are done in Illustrator, which means when you come to upscale from a Silhouette machine to a Graphtec, when you with Graphtec machines, which we'll come on to in a minute, you get a plugin included in the price of the machine called Cutting Master 4, which allows you to drive those machines straight out of Illustrator again, which means all your files that you've created in Illustrator for your Silhouette can just be output on the Graphtec in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also loads of manuals online as well that come with the Silhouette. So you can virtually see, how to do certain designs in the software. So that's actually built into the software itself. But there is also lots of, YouTube videos online too. So if you're ever, stuck and you're unsure if, a customer was, purchasing the silhouette machine for the first time,
Yeah.
there is guidance there. Even for those that are pros, they can always find something new out with the Silhouette Studios, which is great. And then with the Brother stuff, Brother has their own printout versions of how to create projects.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's something really good. From your handcraft paper making to then, purchasing a Brother machine,
Yeah.
like a step-by-step guide of, it'll cut out the material for you. And then if it's like a box, where the fold lines are, where to stick it with the glue and, add different accessories on. So those sort of projects, having it in front of you,
Which is amazing if you're going to do like a group.
Yeah, a group activity.
Yeah, group activity. So you can print those printouts off before you even get there.
Mhm.
So people can turn up with their scan and cut machine, don't have to worry about a computer, and they've got the
Nope,
print off in front of them.
exactly. It's really simplistic, easy. You don't have to worry, like you say, about the software. It's just plug it into the power supply, load your material in, go.
Yeah.
Once it's cut out, take it off the cutting mat and then perform the fold lines or, building up whatever project it is that you've decided to put through the machine.
Yeah. So just as a quick overview before we move on to our commercial products. So the Brother range of scan and cut machines, there's three models that we supply, which is the CM300. So that is a manual machine. So you need to set your blade depth and pressures and things yourself. Then we've got two SDX models, the 900 and the 1200. Those both feature full automatic blade technology where it pretty much works out itself how much blade it needs to show and how much pressure it needs and even how many passes it needs to go over that design to cut out that design on your media.
Yep.
And then move into silhouette. You have the portrait, which people think is a entry level machine. I guess it's entry level in terms of the price point makes it a bit more accessible entry level wise, but in functionality, it's a really impressive little machine.
Yeah, it is good. It is really good. But with the portrait compared to the other silhouette machines though, there is only one tool carriage.
Yes, that's true.
Whereas the Cameo range, so that's Cameo 12-inch, 15, 24. There's two tool carriages.
Easy for you to say.
So that gives you the ability to put in pen or a blade. Then in the second tool carriage, there is special blades that go in there.
Yeah.
So for your thicker material or fabric. So yeah, the Cat's what the Cameo 4 offers
Yeah.
different to the portrait.
Plus,
Yeah,
it's got greater head pressure, so it can cut
it's got
some
force. Yeah.
some thicker materials than obviously the portrait. So that's the overview of the craft cutting machines that we sell. Let's just do a quick time check. Where are we on here? We are on. We've already been going 20 minutes.
Oh,
Flipping heck, that
really?
going quickly. So we'll give a
Yeah.
quick overview of the commercial side. So moving straight from, because we're talking about cutting system, like knife cutting systems, we
Yeah.
move straight over to the Graphtec products, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah. So for an upgrade, a lot of customers do upgrade from the Silhouette to a Graphtec CE range. So Graphtec have a CE range, which the current range is a
Yeah.
C7000. So that's just the current model
Yeah.
there is.
There's always a CE series, isn't there?
Yeah, it
And
was a CE series, and then the number after it is just the current
yeah.
latest model. So that's a roll fed machine. They come in different sizes as well. There's a 40, a 60, a 130, and a 160.
Right.
Thank you. Yes. So that yeah, and that is a roll fed machine. So that's for your roll to roll media.
Yeah.
So you're looking at heat transfer vinyl, standard vinyl. They're the main
Yeah, like block cover sign
material.
vinyls and things.
Yeah, they're the main materials that go in
Yeah.
those machines. So one tool carriage. You can put different blades in there depending on the material. And that's your roll fed machine.
And you can swap out for a pen as well, can't you?
And you can do some pen plotting as well.
Yeah. So full on. I'm not a drawer, so having the ability to stick a pen in a machine and watch it do its thing, it's actually really, really cool.
Yeah, yeah. I had a lot of CAD like drawings been done on the CE machines as well,
Yeah.
which is good. And then the next range of the roll fed machine is the FC range.
Yeah.
Current range is the 9000.
Yeah.
Again, they come in 4 different widths.
Yeah.
They've got a 75, 100, 140, 160. They're again for your roll fed machine, roll fed material. So vinyl, heat transfer vinyl. We've also got some specialist media as well, which go through them.
Yeah, so the FC, you're going to be using more. They use more. They cut, should I say, more specialist medias, don't they?
Yeah, because they can with the FC range, it cuts more accurate, and the speeds there as well to be able to cut that accuracy. So you can put more expensive material through them because you know that it will cut that expensive material. So it has a tracking of up to 15 meters with the FC machines, whereas the CE machines is 5,
Yeah,
up to 5.
up to 5. Yeah.
So yeah, talking wide format, the FC range is the best, machine for that to bundle up with printers to do stuff like that.
Let's not forget that Graphtec developed the whole XY cutting technology from the start in like the late 1940s. So anything else is an imitation, but I didn't say that. um, the FC by far, especially the FC9000 160 is the hot plotter at the moment, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's a very popular machine. PPF at the moment, it's doing very well in that market. So again, in another podcast, we'll probably talk through, the sort of markets each machine falls into and how they've influenced different companies. But yeah, the 160s for wide format is the most popular one, and even the FC75 as well. It's quite a unique like width, which is becoming more and more popular. So say if the C60 is too small for certain customers, the next one up would be a 75 in the FC range.
Yeah.
So it's not too big, of a jump from a 60 to a 140 or 130. You've got that middle ground.
Yeah.
So there is flexibility in, using different machines for different applications.
Yeah. Like we bring you the podcast from our dem room at the moment, which is said in the introductory episode, is full of machinery. We also supply laser cutting equipment from a brand called Wid Innovations. They're Portuguese, aren't they? So
Yeah.
they are. Well, what is it in your experience? You've seen loads of people who've got a cutting plotter in one corner of their unit, and they've got a laser. And yet, what's the actual connection between the two?
So with a lot of customers that we sell our equipment to are predominantly sign makers. So having gone in and doing installs or, having spoken to customers, they do have a laser machine in there or they're looking to invest into a laser machine. So the connection there is sign making. So you would make your vinyl wraps to put onto cars, to put onto walls, that sort of thing with the Graphtec machine. And then with a laser machine, you'd physically cut out the signs in either MDF or acrylic. So there's a lot of demand for that in sign shops to be able to create that. So that's cutting out, thicker material, which you wouldn't be able to cut with a Graphtec machine. It just physically wouldn't be possible because of how thick the material is.
Hmm.
So having a laser machine there to do that, that's why they have two machines in their
Yeah.
rooms.
So yeah, anything, like I always say, like a malleable material, really, that you'd use to put through your Graphtec CE or FC series. Anything that's rigid that you still want to cut for your acrylic signs and things like that, you have to. You're not going to cut that with, like, you're not going to cut a piece of acrylic, like a thick acrylic or anything through.
Oh, hell no.
No, so
No.
you need to buy a laser cutter to be able to cut that thicker material. But for instance, you could cut an acrylic sign, and then you could cut your vinyl, adhesive vinyl, and stick that on your acrylic sign so that they both merge together.
Yeah, we've had a lot of projects actually for like events. So people are buying a laser machine to cut out like just clear acrylic sheets and then using the Graphtec machine to cut out vinyl lettering to stick onto the acrylic sheets and then painting the back of them, for like welcoming signs and that sort of
Yeah,
thing. So that's a very good project that we've seen, more and more is happening as more events are going on now.
excellent. Well, so we're getting to the end of this podcast, really, but a new feature that we want to start doing each week, and I kind of landed this on Ellen the other day when we were doing our introductory episode, but it's a feature called Ask Ellen. So,
Ta-da!
so one of the questions that's come in
Mm.
is, what's your current favorite machine? I say favorite. You're currently, not favorite is the wrong word, really. What's your current, like, most used machine that you're using in the dem room right now?
That's a really interesting question. I would say at the moment, probably the laser machine, because I've used the Graphtec machines for a long time, but the laser machine gives you like extra things to play with and like different materials to use.
Yeah.
So you can do lots of cutting with the laser machine, but also engraving as well. So playing around with the settings on the laser machine to get different depths of thickness of how the laser cuts is really, really interesting to me, especially when cutting out and engraving pictures. So, say if it was your daughter, taking a picture of your daughter and then putting it on a piece of acrylic
Yeah.
and then putting it in like a little frame. So to me, that's really exciting. And there's a lot more people coming in and doing demonstrations here. So it's just a really, really good project, and the machine that probably is my favorite at the moment.
It's your favorite to use, like one of the most fun.
Yeah.
But it's also the projects that you've been doing where you've managed to link both the laser and the vinyl cutters together, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We did some key rings the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, so cut out little acrylic circles and then put vinyl on top of them.
Yeah.
So just make these little fun key rings, and
Yeah.
that again is really, really just something as simple as that, but it just looks really good.
Yeah, you may have seen you did that with Lucy, didn't you? So
Yeah.
that was put onto some of our social media channels. So you may have seen that little video pop up on either TikTok or Instagram recently. But that for today, I think, pretty much brings the podcast to a close. Unless
Oh,
you've got any
just
other
like that.
news you want
What
to.
news? I don't think I do.
No,
No,
no.
I don't think
So
so.
we'll call that a day for today. We will be filming again next Monday, which will be the 8th. I can't forget that because the 7th is my daughter's birthday, and that's next Sunday, so I can't
Yeah, you
forget the
don't want to
8th.
forget
No, don't
that.
forget that. So we'll see you again next week for another episode of the Cutting Matters podcast.
See you there.
See you there.